Hi guys, Paul Pluta on the Paul Pluta channel. Quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing a Breguet Type 20. Today I'm doing a paid review for Richard, and this here is hey, I'm a new fan of yours. I'm an amateur watch collector and have loved watches since my dad let me hear his Longines tick at the age of 6 or so. I was hooked then. I've had a large family, 6 kids, and I'm just a white-collar working guy, an accountant, so my collecting has of necessity been shitter level. Although I focused on vintage Hamiltons, which, as you know, had a heyday here in the States for the larger part of the 20th century, so many of them are still rather cool collectible pieces. The sole exception was a 1993 Rolex Submariner which I acquired, which I managed to get in 2008 when a childless uncle of mine passed away and left me a modest inheritance. Richard then goes on to say that he had a, this is a terrible story, his son passed away. His son passed away at the age of 17 at a track field event in his hometown, which is really upsetting there. Richard goes on to say that this is a story that I have actually told before. But he says that the wristwatches, the grief was so crazy. The only thing that saved him, in a sense, was the Rolex, which didn't get rid of the pain, but it comforted him. He says he'd obviously be very hard pressed to ever part with this watch. It was and remains presently the backbone of his collection. He then goes on to say, now with your help and education, he's gradually sold off some of the affordable shitters and vintage, starting to acquire some entry-level luxury watches. Case in point, the new Tudor Black Bay, like yours with the burgundy bezel. Yes, great piece. He got his just before he saw mine on YouTube, and of course I was delighted that our tales should have matched up like that. I was so enamored with the Black Bay, but could not decide whether to get the in-house or the ETA, so I bought one of each. I know you may not approve of that. No, I think that's quite a nice pair there. The ETA got on the deployment strap and the in-house on the bracelet. Very good choice, because I love the faux rivets on the in-house one. They weren't doing that on the ETA one. I see both are good investments, and both bring me a great deal of joy, so how can it be wrong? Now I must liquidate some of my other pieces to reduce my credit card debt. Oh yes, I know the feeling. But hell, I'm having fun, and life is too fucking short not to do so. Besides, my conservative accountant type nature won't let the desire for watches and not send me to the poorhouse. So as I said, from watching your videos, you definitely have it. You're astute. You are. He goes on to say he's learned a lot from watching my channel, and he's very kindly sent me a few compliments. He said, very entertaining, thank you. You have this celebrity persona going on too, thank you so much. Yes, AC3. He says to me he's done some amateur theatre. He realizes how tough it is. Yes, I believe you me, it's hard. Some of my gags don't even work. They don't work. He goes on to say there, he goes on to say, it would seem your fan base, enough, he's saying I should get more money. Yes, look, Patreon, he goes on to say Patreon. Patreon does help me a lot, I must tell you the truth. Patreon is a godsend. This is, he goes on, this is all presumptuous of me trying to tell you how to do your business, but no, that's okay, that's okay. He sent me a $50 donation, and the reason why I wanted to come back to this email here, Richard's a great guy, I don't know what it would be like to lose a son. That's something I have not had the horror of having to experience. They always say parents should never bury one of their children. It's a very, very hard thing, very, very tough indeed there. But it's a very valid point there. I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and I said, you know, how many watches, how many Rolexes does a average collector have out there? And the honest truth is, in this day and age, Rolex prices are so damn expensive, you're lucky to have one or two. And this hobby is expensive. I mean, it's funny, when I got my first Rolex, that was 1990, I said to a friend of mine who was in the jewelry trade, I said, hey, get me the cheapest Rolex you can. So he got a 1016 Plastic Explorer 1. I couldn't afford anything fancy-wancy. Explorer 1, what a good choice, I must say. Very, very good choice. That was $1,575, and I put it on my Amex card. $1,575, and in today's dollars, you know, I would say we've got a low inflationary period here, and that would be like about $3,500 today. But that same watch, if you go into a Rolex, this is Aussie dollars I'm talking to, you go into a Rolex dealer to get a Explorer 1 now, you're looking about 8,000 Aussie. So they've kind of, Rolex watches have grown. It's not like cars. Like you look back, I remember in 1990, I had a little BMW, little 3 Series, which was, I got the Runout E30. That was $36,244, which today for the nearest equivalent would be like a BMW 320i. That'd be about, they had a Runout package for the BMW 320i signature model, and that was $58,000. So there you go. It's it's kind of doubled. You could say, well, less than doubled. However, the price of the Rolex, $1,500. Nope, you're not going to get an Explorer for $3,000, $3,500, $4,000. No. Rolex is big money, and if you want to get a Submariner, Jesus, you're looking at a ceramic sub date in Australia is over 10 and a half is retail. Well, guess what, sunshine, you can't get one. A Submariner date, you're going to pay in the secondary market, you're going to be paying 13,000 for a Minter, 13, at least 13, maybe 13 and a bit, 13 and a half. So this is the whole thing. The whole Rolex market itself is pretty damn hard. I mean, if you're a like Richard says here, he's a family man. He's had a number of children. He's an accountant, just a working man, and he's got 6 kids, large family. Luxury watches is a very expensive luxury. The only way he got his Rolex was he got a little inheritance, and I got to be completely frank with you. I put my hand up. I got an inheritance in 2009. That's how I got my Calatrava, my Patek Calatrava. And I got to tell you, people say, oh, then I had the annual calendar. Yeah, but I didn't have the money. I financed it. I mortgaged the car. The car was paid off because I had the inheritance. I paid my car off, and I bought a Patek. And then I really wanted this. I really wanted this annual calendar, so I mortgaged the car. That's how I paid for the annual calendar. I didn't have money. I didn't have money as such. I didn't have money. You know, that's a very expensive thing. So I got to be honest with you there. In this day and age now, how many watches does one have? Well, it's very easy. We see these magic collections amazing collections, and you think, oh yeah, get a sub, get this, get that. Well, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Rolex is very expensive. Very, very expensive. And, I mean, you want to get something else? You want to get a Pam? Well, Pam is soft, but hey, you want to get a Pam, it's still big money, you know. The dealers, yes, it's hard to resell, but they don't exactly sell you these things here cheap. So I got to be completely frank with you. Luxury watches, it's too easy on the internet to see people who have amazing, wonderful collections, when really you're lucky to have one Rolex. One Rolex. I mean, myself, I've got one. I got a second one, but I've got a friend who's helping me horse trade to get it. So I think you lose sight. You lose sight. Average person in the Western world, they don't have half a dozen Rolexes. That's Fantasyland. Fantasyland. So it's nice to see Richard has a Submariner. That is a grail to a lot of people. That's a grail. That's a grail. Pre-ceramic Submariner date there. That's a magic piece. And you've got a black bay, 2 black bays actually. It's great. It's really good. It's really good. And I'm happy for you. Sometimes this is what it is. I mean, when you got kids, it's so expensive to get ahead. It's so hard, and you've got to appreciate what you've got there. So just let that. Sometimes you get too greedy. You see these wonderful collections. You think, oh, more. Well, we'll just slow down. Watches are very expensive. I'm Paul Pluta. This is a review for Richard. Richard's a really cool guy. I sent a few letters to him. Really cool guy. And great story, and I'd love to hear your story. Paid reviews, $50 US. Please, it helps me out. It helps me out. Okay, it helps me out. Tell me what you guys think of that. Remember, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and don't forget, press the bell. Press the bell. Press the bell, because you'll get updates of when I upload videos. See you later. Until next time, ciao.